There is nothing that is more important to put your money towards than your health. Your skin keeps breaking out, you always feel bloated, you can't seem to get the weight off no matter what you do. That was me a year ago, and I'm here to tell you it might just be because you're not focusing on your hormones. And yes, it is possible to balance them naturally. And I'm not claiming to be an expert at this, but I have learned from experts over the last year of doing this myself. No doctor visits, so that is what I am sharing today. This is exactly how I healed my body naturally of all of these symptoms that told me that I had a hormonal imbalance. It all comes down to hormones. And for me, that took a long time to realize because doctors would constantly tell me that nothing was wrong with me. I would get seen by an endocrinologist. Even while I was pregnant, I had gestational diabetes, but didn't get any counseling on how to really control that from the bottom up. Our bodies are so intelligently designed to live healthy and feel like we have power over our brains and our bodies. Everything will shift once you start thinking about your hormones first. The number one thing that you should be controlling when you do have hormonal imbalance is blood sugar. It affects your brain, your heart, your skin, your gut, your reproductive system. The basic building blocks of your body, the mitochondria in your cells, can't work properly because they're constantly being fed toxic things like an overload of sugar, processed foods, and foods that were genetically engineered to make us crave more. Dr. Jason Fung was one of my favorite resources, especially his book, The Obesity Code, where he talks all about the effects of refined carbs, refined sugars on your metabolic processes and how it translates over time into cellular dysfunction, which causes things like insulin resistance, fatty liver, PCOS. In layman's terms, if you are constantly eating an overload of refined sugars, your cells are getting too much energy and they're being clogged in a sense. And so they can't work properly. Things like your pancreas is working overtime to produce insulin. And the kicker here is that most people will go to a doctor to solve their insulin problem, when really it's just the diet.
In all biologic systems, resistance develops naturally as a response to excessive levels. So insulin resistance is really caused by too much insulin. So how can you reverse it? Well, you need to lower insulin, and that comes down to the diet. Intermittent fasting can help, and so can reducing refined carbohydrates.
You don't have to be pre-diabetic to take control of your blood sugar. It is an addictive toxin. It literally blocks our cells from having all of the nutrients and micronutrients that it needs to function at a most basic level. So if you needed to hear it today, please cut down on your sugar if you don't already have a genetic makeup that predisposes you to a disease like diabetes. All this to say, not everyone who is overweight or obese will develop prediabetes or diabetes in their lifetime. It is mostly determined by genetic factors. And with that said, you're probably wondering, how do I even know what my hormones are telling me if I don't get any labs done? This is why you need to get your labs done, at least annually. You know that Christmas money that you've been saving up to buy someone else gifts? Make it a gift for yourself to get your health checked once a year. There is nothing that is more important to put your money towards than your health. And that is something that I had to prioritize, honestly, this year. I've been switching from insurance to insurance for the past several years because my husband's job changes. And so I fully know what it's like to always have healthcare costs differentiate throughout different times of the year or year after year. A lot of us spend money on different things. And if you are ready to take control of your hormones, you need to get blood work done ASAP. Your HbA1c will tell you exactly where you are. Also get a CMP done. That's a comprehensive metabolic panel where it tells you your glucose levels at fasting. Those are the two that I would start with. And then you can also talk to your provider about what other things that you are experiencing that you can get blood work for done on the same day. So definitely make it a team effort. If you are able to, start there and start with those two labs. It is also super important to prioritize your circadian rhythm. I follow Dr. Mindy Pelz and Dr. Sachin Panda. A lot of his work is based on a healthy circadian rhythm and how it affects our hormones.
Circadian rhythms are internal timetables present in every single cell in every organ of our body, including the brain. And the circadian rhythms also constitute the master program that guides what time of the day or night every single gene of our 20,000 genes turn on or off, and thereby every single cell and all of our organs are at peak performance.
Your morning and evening routines actually help to balance your estrogen and testosterone levels more than you think. And so getting your morning sunlight in, having an evening wind down routine is a very efficient way to reset your cortisol and your melatonin, helps with your hunger cues. It helps with your sex drive, and it also helps you work more efficiently in your day-to-day tasks because testosterone helps you. It gives you that drive that you need to stay steady throughout the day. It is so simple, but people overcomplicate it because of hustle culture, because of always wanting to get as much work done and be as busy as you possibly or humanely can, when in reality, the best thing that you can do for your hormones is, number one, regulate your blood sugar, but also have a regular circadian rhythm. Getting your sunlight in at normal hours of the day and prioritizing a good sleep hygiene routine is going to get you to your health goals faster than you think. We are indoors all the time. It is no wonder our hormones are the way that it is, especially for women. I also learned that gut health is basically hormone health repackaged. If your gut is not clearing excess estrogen, that is when you will feel more bloating, more PMS symptoms, more water retention, less ability to shed weight faster. You will start to feel the physical symptoms of gut microbiome imbalance.
Estrogen needs to be broken down. So it needs a healthy gut microbiome. So if you've been on a lot of birth control, you've been on a lot of antibiotics, you may not have enough diverse microbiome to be able to break estrogen down. So as you move into that ovulation window, we want to focus in on more greens and what I call the 3 Ps. Polyphenol, probiotic, and prebiotic foods.
As someone who has grown with hormonal acne in my genes, I can fully and confidently say that when I am eating more fiber, prioritizing more protein, more healthy fats, and feeding my gut what it actually doesn't crave, which is most of the time sugar, it helps me to feel less inflamed. Naturally, your body will know when it's satiated. And over time, believe it or not, your body will actually respond to these types of foods better. And you'll notice a difference in how your brain feels, how your body looks. You'll shed weight and fat a lot faster because you are prioritizing your gut. I talk a lot about gut health on this channel, and it's one of the things I'm most passionate about because it has absolutely been a game changer in shedding my belly fat that I've had for years, and also just trying to get rid of weight that I had no belief would ever shed off of my body after pregnancy, but it did because I just prioritized gut health. Now let's talk about chronic stress. At a most basic level, physical, emotional stress keeps your body in a state of survival mode where you are constantly in fight or flight, and your mind just tells your body that it isn't safe. I grew up with a mother who was always in this chronic state of stress, and it's really sad to see the effects of that happen over the course of my entire life.
We also want to slow living down. We don't want to fast as long. We want to keep cortisol down. So there's enough what we call DHEA, which is a precursor to making progesterone. We want to reserve all of that so that it can make the proper amount of progesterone.
When we know how to regulate our nervous system, we are able to get our bodies out of that state of fight or flight and feel a sense of belonging in your own body. Feeling safe in our bodies gives our brains a chance to rest and produce hormones that help us feel more calm, that help us regulate our emotions and not constantly feel like we're lacking something, to feel a sense of belonging. Your brain is always looking for something to hold on to, one stressful thing to the next, because it doesn't have that balance of progesterone that women need. And progesterone is the hormone that makes women have a menstrual cycle and that regulates the symptoms that we have before our period starts.
The number of women that I have heard from, the 20 and 30-year-olds that have no cycle, none. That is because they're insulin resistant, they're more stressed, progesterone's not making her appearance, so there's no shed of the uterine lining. That is absolutely a stress issue. And not having a period for a woman is a major problem because that's how we detox. That's how we get these hormones out of us.
When I was in the middle of regulating my nervous system, one of the best things that came out of the other end of that was not having as much PMS symptoms as I used to. And I'm sorry to say this, a lot of the PMS symptoms that women experience are due to nervous system dysregulation and a lack of gut health focus. Just these 4 tips alone will get you so far in your healing journey, more than you think. I know that not everyone will agree with some of the things that I've said in this video, actually, but I can say from personal experience that these are what helped me the most. I will link all my resources in the description box below for you guys to listen to or read. Comment below if you need someone to keep you accountable. I would love to be that person for you. And if you do need a reset, start here in the description with my free 3-day wellness reset guide. It is there for you if you need it. You might like more videos just like this that explain some of the topics in this video. Thank you guys so much for watching and being here. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.